Beloved child of the Most High, God says, Archangel Michael is crying tears of joy because you finally opened this message at the exact time heaven whispered into your soul. You do not even understand how close you came to missing it, but God in His mercy turned your heart and your eyes here so that you would not lose what was decided in heaven. For there was a meeting held above, in the courts of eternity, with the King of Kings, with the Lamb, with the angels, with the saints, and the subject of this gathering was you. Yes, you, beloved. Your name echoed across eternity, and heaven's record keepers opened the sealed book where every tear you cried has been written down. And in that meeting, God looked into the eyes of Michael, His warrior, His faithful protector, and He said, "The time has come, let the revelation be released, let the burden be lifted, let the truth come forth, and let my beloved know that what was once hidden is now exposed." Michael's tears rolled like rivers because for so long he has stood over your battles, over your nights of sorrow, over your betrayals, and he carried within him a secret sealed from you until heaven's counsel granted release. And now, he has been ordered to speak, to cry aloud, and to ensure you hear this truth in this exact moment. The tears of Michael are not tears of sadness but tears of overflowing joy because he knows you are finally ready to carry what heaven has approved for you. He knows that the heaviness which crushed you, the confusion that tried to chain your mind, and the betrayals that struck you, will no longer hold authority over your destiny. God says, do not think it was small that this message reached you. Do not imagine that you stumbled upon these words by accident. You have to understand that in the invisible realm, battles raged just to stop you from reading this. Forces were sent to distract you, whispers were sent to delay you, but God overruled them all, and heaven's clock aligned with your soul's yearning. Heaven's final decision concerning you was sealed, and only Archangel Michael could carry it forth. Beloved, when you saw the phrase that heaven's decision would vanish in 45 seconds, it was no mere metaphor. It was heaven alerting you that there are moments in destiny where hesitation can steal everything. That is why Michael wept when you chose to open this, for his greatest fear was that you would delay, that you would dismiss it, that you would not realize the urgency. But you did. You opened it. And in doing so, you aligned with what heaven had already declared. God says, do you remember the many times you asked in prayer, Lord, do you see me? Do you hear me? Am I forgotten? Every sigh was recorded, every silent cry was louder than thunder in the throne room. You were never ignored. In fact, there were secret meetings where your name was defended. When your enemies mocked you, thinking no one cared, Archangel Michael stood before them in the unseen realm and said, "This one belongs to the Almighty. Touch not their destiny." And though you saw nothing with your natural eyes, storms were diverted, arrows were broken mid-flight, accidents that were plotted never reached you because angels interfered in ways you could not perceive. Beloved, heaven's meeting was no ordinary gathering. It was not casual. It was final. It was eternal. The scrolls of judgment and mercy were opened, and your name was placed on the side of mercy. Even when accusations rose against you, even when the adversary screamed about your mistakes, even when guilt tried to testify, the blood of the Lamb silenced them all. Jesus himself spoke over you, "This one is mine." Their season of shame is over. Their season of restoration begins now. And at those words, the entire council rejoiced, and Michael bowed his head in awe, because he had waited for this declaration for a long, long time. You do not even know the magnitude of what is shifting in your life right now. God says, doors that were bolted shut for years are unlocking. People who once rejected you will suddenly recall your name. Documents that were delayed are now being released. Money that was withheld will find its way back to you. Opportunities you thought were dead will rise again. And even the person whose heart turned cold will be stirred with a divine restlessness, compelled to remember you, to seek you, to reconcile with you. God is not a man that he should lie. When he decrees a turnaround, no demon in hell can prevent it. But God warns, you must not doubt this moment. The danger is not in your enemy's attacks, the danger is in your hesitation, in your unbelief. Michael's tears of joy are mixed with urgency, because he knows that your yes, your faith, your obedience in this moment, are the keys that secure everything. Do not brush this aside. Do not think tomorrow is promised. Heaven says, the decision is now. The shift is now. The restoration is now. You waited years, but everything will unfold swiftly, suddenly, in ways that will leave even your enemies speechless. Beloved, God says, there were people who plotted against you, thinking you were too weak to survive. They sat in secret meetings to discuss how to erase your influence, how to push you aside, how to replace you. 7 voices rose against you like a council of betrayal. They whispered lies, exaggerated your flaws, magnified your struggles. They hoped to bury you under shame. But what they did not know was that heaven also convened a meeting, a greater meeting than theirs. And in that divine assembly, every lie they spoke was overturned, every trap they set was exposed, every word curse they uttered was broken. You are walking out of the cage they tried to build. You are walking into the inheritance they tried to steal. And God says, you will not just survive, you will thrive so visibly that those who mocked you will gnash their teeth in silence. God says, your time of mourning is over. The cloak of heaviness is being removed. Michael has fought for you when you did not even know you were in battle. He stood with flaming sword, blocking assaults that were meant to destroy you. He fought night after night to shield your dreams, to protect your health, to preserve your name. And now, he bows before you with tears of joy, saying, Beloved, you made it. You endured the test. You are still standing. And because you trusted even when it hurt, heaven has rewarded you. There is a sound in the spirit right now, a sound of chains shattering. Every chain of financial lack, every chain of rejection, every chain of loneliness, every chain of shame, it is breaking in this very moment. Do not look with your natural eyes alone, for they cannot yet see the magnitude of what has shifted. But your spirit knows. Even now, your heart feels the tremor of heaven's decree. This is why you feel an unusual stirring, as though something invisible is pressing on your chest. That is heaven's breath, releasing life into every dry bone in your destiny. God says, your enemies will be confused, because the more they plot, the more you rise. The more they mock, the more you shine. The more they push, the more heaven pulls you higher. They will not understand how you escaped, but you will know. It was not luck. It was not coincidence. It was the hand of God, guided by Michael's sword, wrapped in Jesus' blood, sealed by heaven's decree. Beloved, hear this clearly, God has set before you a table in the presence of your enemies. They will watch, but they will not touch. They will see, but they will not steal. For the decision is final. The inheritance is yours. The healing is yours. The restoration is yours. The marriage, the peace, the financial overflow, the honor, it is yours. Heaven has signed it, sealed it, and now Michael has delivered it. Do not fear anymore. The torment of fear is ending. You are safe. You are chosen. You are sealed. Heaven has spoken. And no earthly voice can overturn it. Beloved, hear this voice that arrives not by chance but by divine appointment. This moment that you are breathing in right now has been carved in eternity, and though your heart may think it stumbled here, heaven assures you there are no accidents, no random encounters, only perfectly orchestrated steps guided by hands you cannot see. You must know this truth in your soul because Archangel Michael is crying, tears of joy, tears of relief, tears that flow because at last, you have found the message that heaven has hidden and reserved for you. He has been watching, he has been waiting, he has been sent time and again to whisper to you in your dreams, to shake your heart in moments of despair, to guard your footsteps when shadows pressed against your door, and tonight, even now, his sword gleams with divine fire as he announces to the courts of heaven, Beloved has finally arrived, Beloved has finally opened their eyes. Beloved has finally stepped into the revelation that could not be given until this very hour. You may feel your chest tighten as you read this, not from fear but because your soul is remembering something it already knows. For it was written, long before the foundations of the earth, that there would come a time when the decisions of heaven would be revealed, and one would carry the weight of such revelations, and that one is you. Heaven held a meeting, beloved, and you were the subject of its holy discussion. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the saints, the angels, and the great cloud of witnesses gathered, and there was only one topic, your name. Imagine this. your name resounding in the throne room of eternity, echoing through the chambers of glory, filling the ears of angels who bowed their heads in reverence because heaven itself was leaning in to speak of you. Archangel Michael stood at attention, trembling with a mixture of reverence and joy, for he was assigned not only to protect you but to carry this message through the veil of mystery and place it in your hands at the appointed hour. That hour is now, beloved. Not tomorrow, not later, not when you feel more prepared, now. For 45 seconds, heaven said, the final decision would hover, shimmering like a fragile light in the air, waiting to be grasped by the one whose name is carved on it. The decision concerns your destiny, your breakthrough, your protection, and your future. If you hesitate, it fades. If you ignore it, it vanishes. But if you embrace it, all that was withheld is released, all that was delayed is accelerated, and all that was hidden comes rushing into the open. Heaven has weighed the scales of your life, beloved, and has found you worthy of this gift. Not because of perfection, not because of flawless living, but because of the sincerity of your heart, the resilience of your spirit, the tears you have shed in secret, and the nights you thought nobody heard your cries. Heaven did. Every sigh, every whispered prayer, every weary groan, it all reached the throne. That is why heaven could not remain silent. That is why this message comes to you with urgency, with passion, with intensity, because Archangel Michael knows that if you hold this, if you do not let it slip through your fingers, everything changes. Think of the battles you have endured, the betrayals that crushed you, the days when your body was present but your spirit was broken. Think of the people who left without explanation, the doors that slammed in your face, the moments when you thought you had nothing left to give. And yet, here you stand, still breathing, still searching, still willing to open your spirit to divine instruction. That is why Michael is crying tears of joy. He has fought beside you when you did not see him. He has wrestled dark forces away from your bed at night when you thought it was only nightmares. He has lifted his flaming sword against those who invoked curses against your name. He has stood in your home, unseen, declaring, "Not this one. This one is marked. This one belongs to heaven." And now he rejoices because finally, you have arrived at the message that proves all his guarding, all his battles, all his endurance for you was not in vain. Beloved, do not underestimate this. A meeting in heaven is not a casual affair. Angels do not gather for trivial matters. The King does not summon councils for ordinary events. This was a holy convocation, the kind that shifts timelines, the kind that writes new scrolls, the kind that seals destiny with fire. Your name was not just mentioned, it was engraved in golden light, displayed before multitudes of heavenly hosts, and God Himself declared, "This one shall see the unveiling. This one shall taste the fulfillment. This one shall receive what was promised." It was not permitted to be revealed to you until now because timing is everything. You had to endure seasons where silence tested your faith, where waiting purified your motives, where emptiness carved space in you for fullness. Now the waiting is over. Now the decision is made. Now the gates open. Even as you read this, beloved, there are movements happening in the unseen realms. Contracts against your name are being ripped apart. Invisible chains that clung to your spirit are snapping. Words spoken against you in hidden rooms are being reversed. Enemies who plotted your downfall are finding themselves confused, their schemes scattering like dust in the wind. Why? Because heaven has spoken, and when heaven speaks, no earthly force, no demonic plot, no human resistance can overturn it. What is sealed in heaven is unbreakable. The decision made for you is final, and it is in your favor. But you must believe it, you must receive it, you must open your heart to it. Heaven's gift can hover, but it cannot force its way in, you must say yes. Do you remember those moments when you thought God had forgotten you? When silence stretched so long that you doubted if He even heard? Those were not abandonment, those were the pauses before the grand unveiling. Just as a seed must remain buried before it bursts through the soil, just as dawn must remain hidden in the horizon before it paints the sky with fire, so your breakthrough had to remain hidden until the right moment. Beloved, that moment has come. The soil is breaking. The dawn is rising. The decision has been signed. Michael wept when the Father spoke the words. Angels rejoiced, songs erupted in the halls of heaven, and your ancestors, those who loved you deeply and now rest in light, leaned forward with tears of joy. They have waited to see this. They have prayed for you across generations, their faith joining with yours, their voices joining the great chorus declaring that you would not be forsaken. That is why heaven held its meeting, that is why this message burns with such urgency, because everything is aligning for you. Beloved, you must know, the reason there is urgency, the reason the message warns of vanishing, is because destiny moments are fragile. When the Spirit opens a door, you cannot delay. When heaven reveals a path, you must walk it. The forces that tried to crush you would love nothing more than for you to hesitate, to doubt, to dismiss this as coincidence. But you must silence doubt, you must strangle hesitation, you must rise in faith. Archangel Michael's tears are proof of heaven's sincerity. He has never wept in vain. His cries shake kingdoms. His tears water the seeds of destiny. And now his joy pours out because the unveiling has reached you. This is why the heaviness you've been feeling suddenly lifts, why peace begins to touch your chest as you read, why something deep in your soul whispers, "This is real." Beloved, it is real. God has chosen you. The meeting was for you. The decision is for you. The inheritance is for you. The breakthrough is for you. The protection is for you. The exposure of your enemies is for you. The lifting of your burdens is for you. Even now, Archangel Michael kneels before the throne with your name glowing on his lips. He lifts his sword not for war but in celebration, declaring that the Beloved has awakened, the Beloved has received, the Beloved has believed. Heaven stands in applause, and the final decision is sealed. It is irreversible. It is unstoppable. It is yours. Beloved, carry this with trembling joy, carry this with holy reverence, carry this knowing that eternity bent itself to meet you in this very moment. The tears of Michael are upon you, the embrace of heaven surrounds you, and the voice of God whispers, "It is done." God says, Archangel Michael is crying tears of joy because you finally found this moment, beloved, and heaven itself is rejoicing as a meeting was held above only for you. The angels gathered in a circle, their wings shining, their voices rising in a holy sound, declaring that this hour was set apart, chosen, written before time began, and now you have arrived at it. Archangel Michael himself, who has fought battles for you when you didn't even know your life was under attack, wept openly before the throne of God because the chains that tried to bind you are finally breaking, the curses that were spoken against you are being burned away, and the truth is being revealed in this very instant. He wants you to know that this is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random stirring of the heart, but heaven's deliberate movement, heaven's final decision, heaven's seal placed upon your destiny, and it is being spoken over you now. The angels who met above spoke your name, beloved, and God himself declared, "Do not let them wander in confusion any longer. Speak it clearly, reveal it now, let them hear what was hidden from their ears, let them see what was hidden from their eyes, let them feel what was hidden from their heart." And so I am sent to tell you, without delay, that the long nights of silence, the heavy hours of unanswered prayers, the feeling of abandonment were not because God forgot you, but because the decision was still being written in heaven's books. But last night, a meeting was held, the scrolls were opened, the signatures of angels were marked upon them, and heaven's court reached its final decision, and that decision is for you, not against you. Michael cried because you were chosen, and you are safe. Beloved, the tears of Archangel Michael were not ordinary tears, they were tears that watered the ground of your destiny, tears that unlocked what demons tried to seal, tears that cut through the records of lies spoken against your life. Those tears are living proof that heaven is for you, and no force of darkness can undo what has now been decreed. In the heavenly meeting, saints who went before you spoke on your behalf. Prayers from your ancestors, prayers from loved ones who left this world but whispered your name in faith, rose up like incense and reached the ears of God. He leaned forward, his voice thundered, and he said, "Enough is enough. The time of silence has ended. Reveal it to them now, for the decision must not vanish. And so I tell you in trembling urgency, beloved, heaven's final decision is leaning toward you like a golden crown, but you must embrace it before it is lost. Michael wants you to understand the weight of this moment. This is not something to be ignored or brushed aside as if it were a passing message. No, beloved, this is heaven's rare unveiling, the moment when the curtain is torn back and you see what was always meant for you. You are the reason this meeting was held. You are the reason angels gathered. You are the reason Michael wept, because your faith, small as it felt at times, weak as you thought it was, reached heaven. You did not give up completely even when you wanted to, and that endurance has been noticed. That persistence has been written into the beloved child of light. Listen with all the strength of your heart, because this moment has been written in the heavens before you even breathed your first breath. God says there are no accidents in the way your spirit has been guided here, and Archangel Michael is weeping with tears of joy because you have finally found the words, the truth, and the message that was set apart from eternity for your soul alone. Do not take this lightly, because the Father himself says this is a divine meeting, a sacred revelation meant only for you. While the world spins and people wander in confusion, the heavens paused for you today. A meeting was held in heaven, where angels gathered, where the voice of God echoed, and the decree was made that now is the moment for your spirit to awaken. Child, you have endured storms that others never knew. You cried alone when no one listened, yet every tear was written in the book of God. Every pain you thought was wasted has been gathered as a seed for this very moment of revelation. Do not doubt why you were chosen to receive this message. Do not question why heaven's counsel opened their gates for your soul. You are loved beyond comprehension, and heaven's final decision for you is mercy, grace, protection, and a future that no one can steal. Archangel Michael, who has been by your side in battles unseen, has cried for you many nights when you refused to believe you were worthy of God's love. But now, for the first time, his tears are not of sorrow, they are of joy, because you have stepped into the divine alignment that heaven has long prepared. God says, beloved, you have lived carrying the weight of false words spoken against you, the burden of betrayal, and the sting of rejection. But hear this, heaven has declared you innocent. Heaven has declared you protected. Heaven has declared you chosen. The decision that has been written concerning you will not vanish unless you turn away in disbelief. This is why the urgency is strong. God says, my child, you are safe, nothing will go wrong with you, because I am holding you in the palm of my hand. You need only to trust, pray, and surrender, for the divine plan is greater than your doubts. You must understand that every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door was never to destroy you but to push you closer to this moment. God says, you thought you were forgotten, but I was preparing a banquet in your honor. You thought you were overlooked, but I was crowning you when no one was watching. You thought you lost everything, but I was shifting your life into position for a miracle that would stun even your enemies. Archangel Michael has been whispering to your heart, shielding you from dangers you did not see, fighting off enemies that plotted against your soul. His sword has been raised countless times to defend your destiny, and now he cries with joy because at last you are ready to hear the truth. Heaven has already decided in your favor. Beloved, do not be afraid of what you face now. The chaos around you is not a sign of defeat, it is the evidence that your breakthrough is near. God says when the enemy realizes you are about to rise, he throws everything at you in desperation. That is why the attacks grew stronger, why you felt weary, why you thought you couldn't go on. But you did not fall, because heaven held you. The enemy tried to silence you, but God preserved your voice. The enemy tried to steal your blessing, but heaven locked it with your name on it. The enemy tried to convince you to quit, but today you are reading this because heaven would not let you surrender. Child, heaven says to you, rest assured, my decision over you is sealed. You are safe, and I will not let harm destroy you. I will turn what was meant to harm you into a testimony. I will take the ashes of your past and crown you with beauty. I will take the tears you cried and turn them into rivers of joy. Even now, angels are being dispatched to open doors that no man can shut. Even now, Archangel Michael stands with his sword of fire to cut off every chain that tried to hold you back. Even now, the very meeting that was held in heaven is being manifested on earth for you. Do not think heaven is distant. God says, I am near to you, closer than the breath in your lungs. Every prayer you whispered in pain reached me. Every sigh, every broken word, every silent cry, I gathered it all. Today, the heavens are thundering with joy because the child who felt forgotten has finally stepped into awareness. You are chosen, beloved, and no force in the universe can undo the decree of God. This is why Archangel Michael is crying tears of joy. He has watched you fight battles no one understood. He has seen you break down in the quiet hours of the night, yet rise again in the morning. He has seen the arrows aimed at your heart, yet none of them prevailed because God's shield was over you. Now, the time has come for you to walk without fear. God's message is clear, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You only need to trust Him fully, not halfway, not doubting, but believing that His plan is perfect and His timing is flawless. Beloved, listen closely. In the heavenly meeting, your name was spoken with love. Your future was declared secure. The plans of those who worked against you were exposed and cancelled. The path that looked blocked is being opened, and the blessing that was delayed is now being released. But you must believe. Heaven's decision is final, but your faith is the key to unlock it. Trust God, pray without ceasing, and surrender your fears. God says, my child, you worried too long, but now it is time to rejoice. You feared too long, but now it is time to rest. You doubted too long, but now it is time to believe. The heavens are cheering for you. The angels are singing for you. Archangel Michael is weeping with joy for you. And I, the Lord your God, am declaring over you, you are safe, you are chosen, and nothing will go wrong with you. Stay in prayer, beloved. Hold your faith tight. Do not let fear steal what heaven has decreed. This moment is not just a coincidence, it is the divine alignment of heaven meeting your destiny. You are under divine protection. You are written in the book of life. You are the one heaven chose to receive this message today. God says, trust me. Pray to me. Walk with me. For my decision over you will stand forever. Beloved child of heaven, hear this voice that is not born from earth but flows from the eternal throne where light never fades and truth never bends. God says this message is for you, and only for you, because the heavens have convened, a council beyond human comprehension has gathered, and the angels themselves have whispered your name in tones of awe. Archangel Michael himself, the mighty warrior of heaven who has shielded your soul through countless storms, now stands with tears of joy in his eyes. Do you understand the weight of this? Michael has wept before in grief when you turned away, he has cried out in warning when danger crept too near, but now he weeps in radiant joy because you have arrived at this exact moment. This moment where heaven finally unveils what has been hidden for so long, waiting for your eyes, your ears, your heart to be ready. You must know this truth with urgency, for heaven's decision, written in radiant letters across the firmament, is fragile like morning dew, shimmering only for a brief span before vanishing. That is why this message reaches you now, why you felt compelled to open, to read, to feel these words as if they were fire in your chest. Do not dismiss this as chance, beloved. Do not believe it is coincidence. The eternal God has spoken your name before the angels, and they have bowed their heads because your life, your destiny, your path has just shifted. The meeting in heaven was not ordinary. It was not for all. It was convened for one. For you. Imagine the great hall of heaven, where the throne of God shines brighter than all suns combined, where the 24 elders cast their crowns, where the angels number beyond counting. In that sacred place, your name was spoken with gravity. Your journey was reviewed. Your tears, each one, presented as testimony. Your battles, visible like scars etched into eternity. And after all was laid bare, after truth shone on every hidden detail, a decision was made. Heaven has given a verdict. That verdict is blessing. That verdict is protection. That verdict is favor. And yet, it must be embraced before it vanishes like mist. Beloved, This is why Archangel Michael is crying with joy. For ages, he has longed for this moment when the seals would be opened, when what was concealed would be unveiled, when you would no longer walk in uncertainty but in divine clarity. He has defended you when unseen forces encircled you. He has stood guard at your nights when shadows tried to whisper lies. He has raised his flaming sword when the enemy tried to touch your destiny. But all this time, he has also waited for the hour when heaven would finally authorize him to reveal this message. That hour is now. That permission has been granted. And you, yes you, are the chosen hearer of this word. God says, do not be afraid. Though urgency surrounds this moment like lightning, though the time window feels so fragile, you are safe. No power of darkness can touch you while this word resides in your spirit. The heavens do not speak to harm you, but to shield you, to uplift you, to crown you with a destiny that no hand can steal. You must trust, even when your eyes see confusion, even when your heart trembles. Trust is the key, faith is the hand that must grasp what heaven offers. Without it, the gift vanishes. With it, the blessing becomes sealed forever. You may wonder why heaven's decision is spoken in such fleeting urgency. You may ask, why only moments? Why such pressure? It is because the realm of spirit moves like a living river. Opportunities open, doors swing wide, blessings are released, but only for those awake enough to step through before the door closes. Remember the parable of the wise virgins who kept their lamps burning while others slept. Those who were ready entered, and those who delayed found the door shut. This is not punishment but truth. Heavenly timing does not linger forever. This is why God says, hurry. Do not delay. Embrace now. And what is it you are embracing? It is not riches of earth, though those may follow. It is not applause of people, though honor may rise. It is something infinitely greater. It is the seal of heaven's approval on your life, the confirmation that your journey has not been in vain, that the trials that nearly destroyed you were not wasted but were the proving grounds of your spirit. Heaven's final decision is to release you into the season of fulfillment. The prayers you thought unanswered were not ignored, they were stored in bowls of incense before the throne, and today those bowls are tipped, spilling answers upon your path. God says, beloved, you are safe. Nothing will go wrong. Do not fear the snares of those who whisper against you. Do not tremble at the schemes of those who envy your light. Their plans are already shattered. Even now, as these words enter you, invisible armies of angels scatter the designs of your enemies. Every curse spoken over you is reversed. Every attempt to hinder you is dissolved. Every weapon formed against you has already failed. You are covered. You are shielded. You are hidden under the shadow of His wings. Beloved, Heaven has watched you walk through loneliness, through nights when you questioned if God still remembered you. Heaven has seen the tears you tried to hide from others. Heaven has recorded the sighs that escaped you when no one else listened. Not a single one was wasted. Those tears were not weakness, they were seeds. Seeds that have now birthed a harvest so radiant that even Archangel Michael trembles to see it. That is why he weeps. That is why his mighty voice breaks with joy. He has carried your file, your case, your name through every storm, waiting for this final verdict. Now it has come. And yet, do not grow complacent. Do not think this means you may return to slumber. No, this verdict is an invitation, not an end. It is the beginning of a higher walk, a deeper trust, a closer intimacy with the God who calls you beloved. To receive it fully, you must align your heart. Pray. Speak with him not as stranger but as child to father, as beloved to lover. Trust him when paths shift unexpectedly. Trust him when opportunities seem fragile. Trust him when delays confuse you. Because this verdict, though sealed, can only be experienced through faith. Do not share this lightly. God said this message is only for you. Others may not understand. Others may mock. Others may twist. Guard it as a pearl. Treasure it as a jewel. Hide it within, even as you walk among people who cannot see what heaven has already declared. This is your holy secret. It is your sign that you are chosen, marked, set apart. Even now, as you take these words in, heaven leans close. The angels bend near to witness how you will respond. Will you dismiss it, letting the verdict vanish like smoke? Or will you seize it, clutch it to your heart, declaring, "Yes, Lord, I receive, I believe, I trust"? Heaven waits. God himself listens for your response. And Archangel Michael, mighty in war yet tender in love, weeps tears of joy at the sight of you awakening to this truth. Child, do not delay. The decision has been made in your favor. The verdict is blessing. The seal is yours. The light is upon you. Trust, pray, walk in faith. You are safe. You are loved. You are chosen. Beloved, heaven has spoken, and it is finished. If you believe in God, type Amen.